So, Kiki sir is here. Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi Priyanka, good afternoon. Hi Girish, good afternoon. Hi Anand, good afternoon.
Hi KK, good afternoon.
Yeah. So, can we start the presentation if everyone are okay?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, Tulsi, we can start it now. Over to you, Tulsi.
So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, a very warm welcome to all of you present here to this final project presentation. Uh, we have worked on automation testing using ROS application, and we have we have worked as a team in the training with Pratian since 4th January, and I hope you all had a great weekend, and I want to start with this. Um the agenda of this presentation is first of all the introduction for the application ROS, which is customer for Pratian in UK. Then project goals, delivery landscape, dashboard, architecture, technology landscape, project workflow, automation in action, where we execute. Where we have executed our test and recorded in a video. We play that, and key highlights, DevOps, test summary report, and our experience with the Pratian training. And finally, we end up with the conclusion. Moving into the next slide. Restaurant One Solution is an application for employee management inside a restaurant. It has many functionalities, and which includes many business modules like cash management, cash up, deposit, reconciliation, payroll, attendance, etc. Moving on, I would like to show some screens of this application. And the business modules in this application are accounting, HR, inventory, forecasting, administration, reports, and dashboards. Uh, we we worked mainly on HR module, where we have submodules divided among ourselves. We worked with one module each. And over to you, Tulsiram. You can continue with this.
Thank you, Azu Fatima. Good afternoon, wonderful present here. Before starting this automation training, we had gone through the whole project, and we have divided into 8 steps. First, we went to the goals and objectives of the project, the predetermined course of action, where we went through the goals, what we have to like achieve the end users, to how to make an application to be free for the users. It should be very friendly to use in, and in that, keeping in mind, we have went through the goals and objectives of the software. In the requirement specification, we went through the requirement of the document prepared by the business analyst, and we went through what and all required features should be included in the software, and what should be taken into key features. And coming to the system architecture, we went through the how it is designed, the system architecture, how the servers are connected at the back end for the database. And we went through the test designs. Like we have implemented lot of test designs, like we have taken into consideration of boundary value analysis, in equivalence partition. We consider that, and we implemented in the test designs, and we executed it. And also we have written the test codes, and we written in Eclipse using Selenium, and we automated the code. and we moved the codes to the Git repository. It's a remote repository. We are moving the code from local repository to the remote one. And we also executed the codes, and we ran, and we got to know how the how the codes are being executed, and we generated report from it, and we have posted it in further coming slides. And we had written 52 test cases and automated it. Coming to the next slide. The goals and objectives of this ROS application is to enable the operational efficiency, such as it apart from all the softwares which has introduced in the market, it should gain the customers' interest and to make more efficient and profit more. It should be enabled for the customers, and integrated end-to-end solution, avoiding the third parties vendors or bringing up to the third parties into the picture. We are having the integrated end-to-end solution where all from starting to hardware to software, it is built by the ROS developers. And the main motive of this application is to generate revenue and profits. Like we want to reach as much as customers, and we want to generate the revenue and profit. This is the main motive for every business, or we have to do it for generating the profit of the business. And one-stop shop for data. Instead of keeping the batches of other divided modules of data, like we cannot depend on different application for the data to accumulate it. It will be like a clumsy structure. So instead of that, one-stop data will be more efficient to use the data structure. So that has been implemented. And secure data and access. Secure data access. Every data is segregated through respective access, such as admin will be having his respective access, and he can use only his credentials. And coming to the employees, restaurant owners, and also the HRs, they'll be having their respective modules. They can use it. Over to the next slide. I give for Divya. Please continue with Divya.
Thank you, Tulsiram. Here is the knowledge transfer video.
Sorry, it's not in video. We had went through the knowledge transfer videos and documents. It was hello, am I audible?
Yes, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Before starting this project, we had gone through the modules which are there in ROS application manually, and we had tested the every modules. We had went through the each and every drop downs, and we just did some exploratory testing and ad hoc testing, and we got a knowledge how to use the application and what all the features it contains. So this is the first step we have taken before doing the manual testing and automation testing.
Okay.
And the system architecture of ROS application this is designed in this way, where web client and mobile client servers are directly connected to the ROS web server directly, and this ROS web server is connected to the backend database for ROS database server, and the external servers like Uber Eats, Shopware servers, and iZettle are connected externally at backend database servers of the ROS. And the cloud server, Azure server, is connected directly to the ROS web server. In this way, the system architecture is designed. In the solution architecture, here the main actors comes into picture is restaurant persons, owners of the restaurant, HRs, and coming to the employees and the third party vendors, accounting firm, and ROS user. They are connected to the mobile application, desktop application, and also BI Tableau. These are a gateway with the backend database for ROS, with the HR module and also the employee modules. In this API is connected between the mobile application, web application with the backend database service. With this intermediately, they are working with the when we try to log in and we want to work, we want to get into the application. There are three gateways such as email, SMS, and payment. These three come into picture as a gateway, and in the payment process we will get the picture of Just Eat, Uber, and iZettle for the payment methods. So this is the solution architecture designed for ROS application. Coming to the next slide, Divya, please go ahead.
Thank you, Tulsiram. Good afternoon, everyone. Here is the tech view. These are the technologies which has been used during the ROS project development. Coming to the right hand side, here are the technologies which we had worked in during our testing phase. We used Java over Eclipse IDE. We have worked with Selenium, and we explored different frameworks such as TestNG, Page Object Model, and Cucumber tool. We had used Azure DevOps for uploading our test cases and reporting the bugs. And for API testing, we had used Postman. We did created Maven projects and the XML files. Coming to the next slide. Here comes the test execution workflow. These are the different phases which we had undergone during our testing phase. Initially, we had a clear understanding on the requirements, that is, what are the features to be tested and what not to be tested. And then we documented those requirements in the requirement documentation phase. Once documentation is completed, we did our architecture design and moved to the test plan phase. This is the place where we had plans about resource allocation, what tools to be used, what techniques can be used, all the plans. And we moved to the test design phase and designed our test cases. Along with, we had written the test scenarios with the corresponding test cases. Once the test cases definition phase is done, we moved into the test execution phase where we did tested all our test cases and we logged our defects in the defect logging phase. Once defect logging phase is done, we entered into the defect report phase, which contained all the details of the identified defects and what actually caused the defect to occur. Then we moved to the test summary report, which had details about all the passed scenarios and failed scenarios. And finally, we are in the phase of sprint review. Coming to the next slide. Team collaboration. We, the test engineers team, collaborated with other different teams such as business analysts, QA lead, DevOps team, project manager, and architects, and had a great experience with them in understanding the project. Coming to the next slide. Here comes the automation in action video, which we had implemented. Initially, we are logging into the project by giving the valid credentials. And then we landed up into the cache of sheets page. Here we got navigated to different modules. Initially, we are navigated to employee module. Here, all the employee details is been automated. And then comes the view of the employees. Then it is navigated to shift calendar, where copying the shift details, adding the shift details, and deleting the shifts is being automated. Now it's navigated to attendance module, where editing the shift is done. And further navigated to request. Here, approving the employees and rejecting the employees is been automated. And is switched over to my request, where it contains all the details of users' leaves. Now it is navigated to leaves module. Here we added up the data for adding vacation. Now editing and deleting is automated. It is switched over to my leaves, where user can request leave for himself. Now it is navigated to payroll. Here, payroll for employees is being automated. And then it is downloaded in different formats like PDF, CSV, Excel. Thank you. Over to you, Bhagya.
Thank you, Divyashri. In the next slide. Good afternoon, everyone. Here, the main key highlights of our project is we are working within the real-time customer projects, and we are coordinate with the developers team to test our applications. And mainly we are using the Cucumber as our framework, because the Cucumber is an very simple to understand everyone. So non-technical coding persons also understand the Cucumber, because it's used the simple English text called Gherkin language. So we were, and it's acts as in behavior driven development also. So we are choosing the Cucumber. And the another key highlights is the architecture of our project is developed from the scratch, and we use the page object model, because the benefit of page object model is reduce the duplication. So you page object models, and we select the Selenium, because it is an open, free and open source automation tool. We use the coding Java language for coding, and we start implementing our test cases. And after all the execution of test cases, we generate the report through the test engines. We use test engines for report generations. And after all execution and generating test cases, we push our project to the Git repository. And after that, we had a sprint preview and feedback. In the next slide. Here our project module, specifically every person select the different feature for automating. So specifically I selected the employee module. The main object of this module is It's add all the employee basic details and their personal details, such as their bank details, their documents like their ID proofs, mask cards. These are all uploaded in this modules. So here another sub features are there, 7 sub features: the shift calendars, attendance, request, leaves, payroll, and profile. These are all also automated by my colleagues. In the next slide, here the main adding new employee page. Here we add all the employee details, bank details, their documents, statutories, and their statements. In the next slide, this is our code structure. We use Cucumber as our framework. So here we created an future file for Cucumber. So in this we write the scenarios for test cases, and we created the different pages for every web pages. We created a separate classes using page object models, and you use the TestNGs for report generation, because the TestNG is very helpful for generating the reports. It shows all the passed, skipped, and failed test cases, and it's also help for running only the failed test cases. So we used, and we selected Maven project because it automatically generated the updated the jar files. So just we update the dependencies in POM file, POM XML file. It automatically updated. So we use the Maven projects here. This is our code structure of our projects. Here we create, after creating the futures, this is our future file. Here we write the test scenarios by using the keywords called given, when, then, and. We use these keywords to write our test scenarios. Coming to next slide. This is our report generation. I am written total 9 test cases. Out of 9, all are passed, and we are generated through web also. This is our report generation, and we also generate the screenshots for failed test cases. These are all my module. Next module is continue with Gunashekar. Over to Guna. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagya. Good afternoon all. So this is the model I worked on. This is the shift calendar where the HRs or the managers can add the schedule or edit the schedule. They can also copy the schedule from the last week to this week, or from this week to the next week if they think the productivity of the employees was good. So in the next slides, I have written the save test cases like which are login and landing and checking the shifts periodical wise, in which we need to check the shifts of an employee like monthly, weekly, and yearly. So that we can get an idea of how much shifts an employee has worked. In which we also handle the drop downs. In the next scenario, where the user tries to add schedules and copy the schedule from the previous week to this week. So as I said earlier, if the structure or the manager thinks the productivity of the week was good, then they can be easily copied the same shifts to each and every employee if they are required. So and in the next those shifts can be deleted to like that. So mainly I have chosen these 7 scenarios as my main scenarios because I thought these were the main things that HR needs to do while he is planning their employee shifts and everything. So in the next slide, I have generated my reports where it's showing all the test cases I have passed, and this is then because of the text and annotations we use that returns the test cases and scenarios with the help of Cucumber file. And next slides will be explained by Suhail from here.
Yeah, thank you, Guna. Good afternoon, everyone. Here comes in my module, request module. The main objective of this request module is to get the request from the employees. An employee can place 3 types of different requests like a shift request, leave request, and profile request. And all those requests has been approved or rejected by their respective managers. Here, the employee can view his request and the other employee's request also by clicking on the my request button. And here comes in our manager role is he can approve or reject the other employee's request by giving the valid reasons to them, and he can also view his request status. In the next slide, I have written the feature file. Here comes in my feature file. I just created different scenarios for each test case, and for the login validation, we just prepared a property file. Through that property file, we are getting the login credentials and we are just validating it. And then we just land upon the request module by using different locators. We have created the relative XPaths also to locate the elements, and we use different interactions like drop down, drag and drop, checkbox buttons. By clicking on them, different functionalities. Here comes in our approve reject buttons. Either a manager can approve by by clicking on the checkbox to all the employees, or he can reject the particular employee. All the functionalities has been checked here itself. And in the next slide, which I just generated and report here itself, and all the test scenarios has been getting passed. And along with this, we just added an capture screenshot method to capture the screenshot. If there is any test case is getting failed, the screenshot get captured and attached to the that respective test case which has been failed. And thank you, and over to you, Arzu.
Thank you, Suhail. So I have worked on a payroll report module. This is how it looks. Here we can create a new payroll report and download the existing report in PDF, Excel, and CSV formats. And also we can check weekly, monthly, and yearly reports using the WMY icon in the top right corner. In the next slide, I want to show the feature file I have written. I have designed 10 scenarios wherein which felt important to me in this module. That is creating a payroll report using the default fields, and also using additional fields if the user wants to add, and downloading the reports in different formats. I have designed for these 3 scenarios. Then I have designed one more scenario in which we can view weekly, monthly, and yearly reports respectively. And last one is logging out by clicking on sign out button. In the next slide, I would like to show my report generated after the implementation. All the test case all the test cases are getting passed here. And this is about my module. Over to you, Tulsiram.
Thank you, Arsu. I have chosen attendance module. Here we can see the user's attendance request in periodically, such as a weekly, monthly basis. Here we can do the features like checking the status, viewing the schedules. Coming to the next slide. Here we can enter the department where the employee is working, and we can enter the title such as for what he's editing the shift, whether it is for full-time or part-time. And there is a drop down where we can give the shift, whether it's a full-time or part-time. And we can enter the shift start time and end time. Here, a point to be noted, the shift time should not be less than 8 hours. And there is a additional to that 2 checkboxes stating that send SMS and send message. In case we are checkouting that checkboxes, we will be receiving a notification stating that shift has been edited successfully on tapping on save button. Here comes my feature file. I have used 5 scenarios such as logging in with valid credentials and functionalities which can be done in attendance module, and viewing the schedules of the employee. User tries to edit the shift and user tries to delete the shift. All the test case has been successfully passed. And over to you, Divya.
Thank you, Tulsiram. I have worked on leave module. The working of leave module would be like the user can add vacation for the employees, or he can also add vacation or request vacation for himself. Here is the image where it displays user adding the data for employee, and I have been written scenarios for different for these functionalities. Coming to the next slide. Here is my feature file where I did written different scenarios, and it is easily understandable as I used Cucumber tool. Here I had written scenarios for adding vacations for employee by giving very different data, and also I have been passed some invalid data and printed the message. Coming to the next slide. Here comes my test report where I have done the 9 scenarios and 9 have been passed. Over to you, Suhail.
Yeah, thank you, Divya. Here comes in our API testing. The main intent of our API testing is to check the functionality and the performance of the programming interface. Here we choose a software to make a call to the API and to get the request. Mainly we have chosen this Postman API as a tool for API testing because it is easy to use, and we can just create a collection and we can pass different requests through this API. Here in this API, in this Postman, we had a different HTTP request like a get, post, put, patch, and all. Here I'm passing the get request to get all the employee information of the ROS application. Here comes in the next slide. I had just created an I had just passing the put request to modify the employee request which has been placed before. If the approval status is pending, the employee can modify his request through by passing the put request, and here the console displays the request has been modified successfully. Over to you, Guna. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, after all that test case execution and the requirement understanding and the design of test cases and the execution of the test cases, we actually worked on different modules with different people as a team. So when we wanted to do a peer review, we couldn't find a way to do that. So we selected the GitLab to push and merge our codes. In the next slide, I have also shown that how does that look. So the main reason is to do this is to manage our source code where we can also keep where we can also keep our source code in a safe and secure remote repository to avoid any accidental loss of the data. So and in the next and in the next slide, I have also we also found some bugs in the project while we worked on while we are working with the annual testing and we did upload all the test cases and the bugs in the Azure DevOps as well to run the tests and maintain the source code as well. So in the next slide, I'll be telling about the test summary report. So the purpose of this document was to explain what we worked on. Main thing is about the ROS application, which contains modules like dashboard, employees, and shift, where we worked on the employees model. So and we worked on the employees model, and each one of us have worked on different features like employees, shift calendars, attendance, leaves, request, and payroll. And we did run a total of 52 test cases, out of which 52 test cases are passed, and that could be our that is our exit criteria as well. I have also mentioned that in the next slide. So mainly main thing of testing we did was functional testing to check the functionalities of each and every module and the integration of the modules with the different modules. So and the best practices we had were the at first the development team interacted with us and they gave the knowledge transfer with us and what should we work on. So and then the exit criteria, as I have mentioned earlier, all the test cases should be executed as we did that, and all the defects should be verified and closed as that too. We did that and uploaded in the Azure DevOps. So there is the application URL for the reference in any case. So in the next we will be talking about the experience to cherish with the team that will be explained by Suhail.
Yeah, thank you, Guna.
Suhail.
Yeah, thank you, Guna. Here comes in our experience. We had a great experience with the Pretian team. We learned a lot of things in this 45 days of training. And coming to the knowledge sessions, every day we have a stand-up call from 9:30 to 5:30 where we can meet virtually to learn all our topics. And every day our virtual sessions has been started at 9:30 and end up at 6 o'clock itself. And every day we have an hands-on labs which contains the tracker to update our statuses also. And at the weekends we had a presentation on whatever we have done in this respective weeks, and and whatever the topics we have covered, we just make a project on that, and every week we had an assessments, and our codes and all the works has been evaluated by our trainer itself, and we get the feedbacks from other teams also. This automation work we had collaborated with other teams like InfoVision, where we took all the feedbacks from them, whatever the changes we have to make, and how we can do and what not to do. And coming to these challenges, in this way, we have faced some tough situations, like we have to work at late nights and weekends also to complete our labs and assessments. And we had a healthy arguments also in this way. And we had experienced a great journey with the Pretian team. In the next slide, I'm gonna explain about the virtual sessions. Every day our virtual session starts at 9:30 itself, and at this, before starting our session, we just recap whatever we have covered in the last days, and before, and then we just covered what are today's topics, and then we started our sessions with our respective trainers. And here comes in next slide. We had hands-on tracker for our labs. If for every lab we had an hands-on tracker to update. Here the trainers can view the status of each trainee, and we can update the status here itself. And for assessments and case studies also, we had a tracker. Through this tracker we learned how to report our day-to-day work, and how to state our reports to our leads. Here next, in the next slide, we had a separate channel created for the Optimics team to collaborate to our team members and with the trainers also. Here we can place all our doubts in the given point of time, and we can just collaborate our team here itself. And if we have any doubts, we can ping our trainers through this channel itself. And thank you, Pretian. We had a great journey with you, and we got downloaded all the concepts. Thank you. Over to you, Bhagya.
Thank you, Suhail. This is our team members: Arzu, Fatima, Tulsi, Ram, Divyashri, me, and Gunashekar, and Sheikh Suhail Ahmed. We had a great coordination between groups, and we done with our project. It will successful for that. So we wish to know your feedback on our presentations, and if there are any queries, our team will ready to answer. Please.
Yeah, I would say, like, please accept my appreciation for the outstanding presentation. I would say it's not like at this point of time, it's not a questions. I see a great teamwork here, and I see a depth of understanding the testing concepts, and the ability how you presented means like everyone, like the way you expressed, and the presenting skills also. I think I could see such an interesting way. Like, I appreciate each and everyone. Really did a good job, and I would say, like, I will thank Pretian team like to train all these freshers as a experience. Looks like they are already experienced. Maybe I think we can directly assign them to the projects, and we can tag them to the projects. Thank you, Pretian team, especially Priyanka, like whom we have interacted earlier, and KK. Thanks everyone from the Pretian team. It's a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anand. Thank you so much for your patience on listening to the project presentation. Hope you liked it. And
yes, absolutely.
yeah, and I'll share you the final assessment report shortly. So according to that, we can go ahead.
Thanks a lot. And thanks for your patience. Maybe I think the team members has multiple questions, maybe again and again. I'm not sure, like I think maybe patiently have answered and maybe everything got sorted out. That's good to hear.
No, that's our duty to answer them and to be patient with them. So, any other questions, Girish and Anand?
No, at this point of time. I could say I think they are just showed what exactly they learned, and it's good actually.
Thank you so much.
I feel very honored to thank both the Optimics team and Pretium team for giving me this opportunity, and who are all present here and who are all not present here also. We thank. We know we have lots of things to learn. However, we have very good enthusiasm for that. Looking forward to working with the Optimics team. Thank you.
Thanks, Bhagya. And thanks, Anand. Thanks, Priyanka, for setting up this call. Anyone having any thing to say about the training program you have gone through, the 45 days training? Any?
Yeah, Girish, we have had a lot to learn in this past 45 days, where they built us with the mentality of the corporate world and how to survive in that. And not only that, but they had also been with us, and in our ups and downs we faced, and whatever the doubts we had, they had been good with all that time with all the patients they gave us. I would greatly like to thank them very much with that, especially Priyanka ma'am and Chanchal ma'am were both there for us when we needed them the most at any time of the day. So that was very good, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Guna. I know this training started on January 3rd. From that time, you guys were going through a new journey of training where first time there will be some challenges, how this program will be going. There will be some tensions. There will be so many situations where you will be thinking, is this training program going on the correct track, or is this are they giving us the good training? Now you will be feeling it like at the end of the training, once you have completed the presentation, you will be having that experience. Like all this journey was about for a good successful training, and the learnings you have in between these 45 days training, it will be a continuation, and you will be going to start implementing it, and it will be really helpful. You will be thanking the trainers who have helped you all these 45 days. And yes, thanks Priyanka, and thanks KK. Anyone having any other experiences to share? Or else,
Yeah, KK sir, you have a few words to speak about the team.
Hi Priyanka, this is Patabi here.
Hi Patabi.
Hi sir. Hi sir.
Hi team, fantastic job done. I could not believe that you are the same guys whom I heard about 3 days back. I mean, this was a fantastic presentation. I think you guys have put in a lot of hard work in presenting things that you have implemented. This is the first step towards getting into the corporate world. Of course, you will be learning a lot once you join the respective teams in Optimics. There'll definitely be a lot of mentors who will be grooming you, but it's a phenomenal job that you guys have done. and I'm very happy the way you have presented it to the Optimix members today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Keep your feet grounded and keep your learning curve on all the time, as I've told you last time. That's it. All the best for your careers.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Girish. Thank you so much for your time and for being patient. Anything else you have, Girish?
Nothing, Frank. And
Yeah.
so we will connect with you after this call. And thanks for sharing that assessment report. We will go through
Yeah.
that, and if any doubts there, we will connect with you.
Yeah, we can connect on a separate call for
Yeah,
the
sure.
discussion on the assessment report.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, one and all present here.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
See
Thanks,
you
Anand.
guys. Good luck.
Thanks,
Thank
Fatavi.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
KK.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
So guys, can you still
Everybody did their great job,
Yeah.
bro. We
Yeah.
can meet in private teams.
Yeah.
Good thing, guys.